all, welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thapliyal and we have lined up a power pack show for you today where we'll be celebrating Mother's Day, which is there on 12th of May. But then, we'll be talking about how to financially empower your mother, and being a mother, how can you translate and transfer the wisdom of financial independence to your kids and to your generations coming up ahead. But then we will also throw upon the counter to get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered today on the show. So just in case you want to ask any question, you can WhatsApp your queries on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571. You can also email us your questions on themoneyShow@etnow.tv. All right, so we are celebrating Mother's Day today on the Money Show, and with that, we have a very special guest on the show, a poet, a content creator, and now a mother, an artist at heart and soul. Priya Malik is someone who stirs up millions of hearts by her poems and writings, but how does she look at women empowerment, and considering this new chapter in her life, how is she experiencing this new identity being a mother? Let's know more from Priya herself. Priya, hi and welcome to the Money Show, and first of all, congratulations on becoming a mother. So how is it going? Let me just start with that.
It's going really well. It's hectic, I'm not going to lie. It's messy, but it is magical, and I won't trade it for anything else.
All right. So, as we all see, being a mother journey also involves a lot of sleepless nights, new experiences coming, becoming a mother. So, what are those small hiccups, or what are those new kind of experiences maybe are right now feeling like a discomfort, but then also a kind of an experience or a memory that, you will take it to the end of your life?
One thing I have realized is that if you haven't had a baby, you will never know what it is like to have a baby. I used to think I know it all. My sister has 3 kids, my friends have little babies, but until you have one yourself, you will never understand the amount of exhaustion that goes into the process, and the idea that a newborn is very demanding. It's a 24/7 job, and it's a job that you can never quit. You're in it forever, you're committed forever. I think the scale of responsibility I only realized once I became a mom. And as much as I thought I'm prepared, once the baby came, I realized that I was really unprepared.
All right. But then, Priya, I will also not say that this is your first baby, because we all know poetry and poem is almost like an elder sibling or your first baby. So what do you think about that, and what are you doing about it? Is the elder sibling or the first child being ignored?
So as it is with all the older siblings, the first baby has to kind of take a little bit of a back seat while the newborn takes the more prominent place. So that's what happened with me as well. Obviously, the baby came first, but I quickly also was able to get back into poetry. I did a little bit of stage time within a month of delivery, which was really lovely for me to get back on stage as well. I hold my work very sacrosanct, and it's very important for me to be on stage and to be a poet as well, but equally important for me to be a mom as well. So once I was on stage, I wanted to rush back home, and when I was at home, I wanted to rush to stage. So that was a new feeling, but I think both the babies are kind of managing quite well at the moment. Thank you.
That's a very interesting thing that you've told, because, a lot of us in India still have that mindset. A lot of people still believe that, becoming a mother might come in the way of your career, or, that might just derail the growth or the pace at which your career was growing initially. Although we are seeing a change in this entire scenario and mindset, but then what has your experience so far been like? I know that you've always been a working woman since a very younger age. At least, I think by 17, you started working. That was the first time you earned money or had a paycheck in hand. But then you've got a long journey ahead of you, and your career is as much dear to you as your kid and other aspects of your life. But what would you like to say to all those people, or especially women who are trying to balance out their career and their personal life, and especially if they are into a new role of becoming a mother? What is your view on this entire changing phases in a woman's life?
I think it is not impossible to have a balance between the two. Yes, it is difficult. I'm not going to lie. You have to be able to manage it well yourself, as well as have your family and your staff and your friends and whoever you can ask help from to pitch in. And in terms of your immediate partner, your husband should be equally involved. You know, वो भी बाहर का संभाल रहे हैं, उन्हें घर का भी संभालना चाहिए. आप भी घर का संभाल रही हैं, तो आपको बाहर का भी संभालना चाहिए. I think both partners equal partnership is very important. लेकिन it's easier said than done. I understand that I'm coming from a place of privilege while I say that, you know, it's not impossible. I know of mothers who find it very difficult and who find it almost impossible. But I think it's a matter of time and a little bit of management on your part, maybe a little bit more patience on your part, and eventually it will all work out. But in order to be a mother, you don't have to leave your work, and in order to be a great career woman, you don't have to leave your baby. I think with time and patience and your own unique situation, both are possible.
Priya, I also want to know your view on you know, or the way you understand women empowerment. You know, we talk about financial freedom, we'll talk about how important it is for women to take stock of their own finances, their own investments. But then what does being financially independent actually mean to you?
I think financial freedom for women is one of the most important things that you can have for yourselves. I think before anything else comes in life, you need to be financially independent and have enough savings and investments for yourselves to fall back on for the rest of your life. I, as many Indian kids go through, was not financially educated in school. You know, even though I went to one of the best schools, you know, had a great education, I was a very academic kid, but never learned anything about investments. I learned that really late in life, but now that I have learned it, I try and educate everyone around me. I think I'm one of those friends who's always asking others to open an SIP or to invest in mutual funds or to at least have a fixed deposits, the power of computation, the idea that, you know, boond boond se bharta hai sagar, all of those things. I am very, very strongly inclined towards financial education, and I take it very seriously myself. And, you know, my baby is only a month old, and already has, since his birth certificate got sorted, already has an SIP in his name.
That's a very interesting point of view, and thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that's a great takeaway from the entire interaction of how financially aware you are and how financially hooked on you are. You know, you've started an SIP right from the time there's a childbirth for you. But then I want to understand about your financial portfolio also. Do you really look at your financial portfolio? Do you really plan your finances? How well are you invested across asset classes? What's your strategy like?
So I do take care of my financial portfolio myself, while I do have an advisor whom I take advice from every now and then. But I also like being educated myself and being in power of my own finances. So I need to know where I'm putting money, what are the risks involved, and what am I actually doing with my money. If I'm earning it, I should know what to do with it as well. And my portfolio is diversified. I haven't delved into real estate yet, but everything else, you know, I've got mutual funds, I've got equity, I've got stocks, I've got bonds. I think I've kind of put a little bit of money everywhere, and I look back and see what's working best and what's not, and that's how I take it forward. So, yeah.
But then, Priya, how do you look at yourself? Are you a trader? Are you an investor? How do you understand what kind of strategy and what kind of asset class do you need to adopt?
So I do read a lot. I read a lot of financial forums as well. I speak with friends. I do my own set of research as much as I possibly can. So I'm aware of the risks, and I don't put all my savings in something which is extremely risky. But at the same time, you know, I'm not a day-to-day trader. So I don't look at pitfalls as a very big issue for me. I've also put only that amount of money which I can afford losing, because I'm aware that it can happen. But, you know, you have to look at the history of what you're putting the money in. You have to look at the patterns. You have to study the graphs. You have to put a little bit of time if you're putting a big chunk of money into something. And I'm a big fan of HODL, so I hold on for dear life. I've had, I think my first few stock investments were around 7 years ago. 5 to 7 years ago, and I haven't touched them since. They have dipped, they have gone up, everything has happened to them. But I'm a long-term investor, so I'm going to look into what has happened after 30 years. And I know after 30 years, they would have all come up. Or after 10 years also, they would have all come up. So that's what I believe in. I'm not saying that this is the best financial advice you can get, but I put money into things and I leave them. And I only put that amount of money which I can afford leaving for a long time.
I think this is one of the best explanation of how one should become an investor, and the benefits of being an investor, and the criteria that you need to actually factor in if at all you want to become an investor. But then, having said that, since we have you on the show and it is a Mother's Day special, I want you to recite a poem, maybe on the lines of women empowerment or motherhood.
There is a poem by me which is called "We Are the Difficult Women," and it ends with the line saying, "We are the difficult women. We are the difficult women. We are the difficult women who make it all look so goddamn easy."
That's great. Thank you so much, Priya, for being on the show and sharing your journey as an artist and motherhood as an investor with our viewers today. Thank you so much. All right, so on that note, it's time for a quick break, but then post that, let's get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered by Shweta Rajani after this break.